Alright, so this time we are going to talk about the buttons on the Shnth. There are 8 buttons, 2 sets of 4. The closest buttons to the bottom of the Shnth would be the minors, which would be here, and the buttons closest to the middle of the Shnth would be the major buttons. Those are found here. Now, we have bars controlling our oscillators right now, so maybe let's just use some of the buttons. So we'll come in here and delete all of the bars and delete this mole that the bar is in. Okay, now we're not going to upload that right away because if we did, it would just be 4 free-running oscillators. Instead, we'll grab the buttons and put them into the mole positions of each of the 4 oscillators. And then we will go ahead and just upload. So now, if we press the buttons, we can hear that they are controlling all 4 of the oscillators. So, if we take a toggle here and put it in front of this button, and then put the button inside of the toggle in the trigger input, and then upload again, it has very simple toggling behavior. On when we press the button, and then off when we press it again. For any of the other buttons, if we hold them down, it'll stay on, but as soon as we let go, it'll turn off. So all 3 of the other oscillators are just momentary right now. And the first one is your toggle. So if we wanted to perhaps trigger this oscillator with 2 button presses instead of just 1, maybe we could. So we would actually take the AND here, add it in there, and then let's take a minor. That's minor C, minor D, minor A. Okay, so we're going to take a minor A, since this is the major A, or just the regular major. Now the AND has 2 inputs, in and other. Both of them, in this case, are going to be with the major and minor buttons. That is triggering the toggle. Let's upload it. So if I press the major button, nothing happens. If I press the minor button, nothing happens. However, if I press both buttons at the same time, or hold one button and press another, it'll turn on just like we did before. Again, if we press a button, it doesn't do anything. Now, if we press both buttons, it'll turn it off. So we'll explore this technique and also using XOR in a generative or self-playing patch or patching tutorial at a later time. But for now, we're just going to have it be a major and forget the AND. Okay, so let's upload that. Got to toggle again. Let us perhaps look at slew now. Slew E, slew F, G, H, slew. Pull that in here. Alright, now we are going to bring our major B into the input of slew. Let's go ahead and upload that. So, don't hear a whole lot of difference. However, I know that the slew has 2 inputs here, or 2 other operators, the up and down amount of slewing. These high values, like 112 or 83, or negative 112 or negative 83, will not really do a whole lot. So let's put it down to 2. Nice low value. The slewing in this is not real long. So let's press major B. But a nice thing about it, just like a slew should do, it's kind of like a filling station or like a balloon or something like that, where you can fill it up little by little. Let's maybe look at wheel. So wheel is a fun one. We'll put the button in the up input, and there's also a down input. Let's go ahead and upload that and see what happens. So, I'm not pressing any buttons right now, and the wheel is acting on its own in this mole, and it's turning this horn up, and now it's going back down. So it's acting on its own. In this way, with one input that has nothing going on right now and one input at 32, it's just kind of running like an oscillator or like an LFO. So if we instead, let's grab minor C and put that in the down position. Well, before that, let's play major C. So if I'm holding major C now, let's upload this. So with wheel, hold major C down, let go of it. It'll just stay a static value now until it gets another input. Let's maybe bring it back down. I'll press minor. So you can have some really long envelopes using button presses this way. Again, we've still got our toggle. The other slew. And this wheel. Let's maybe try it where it's just 2 numbers. Let's just take those buttons out of it and see what happens. Now it should start moving on its own. Great. Again, if we have major, and this time I'll just change it to a C, upload that. I'm pressing down on it. I can affect the wheel. But if I let go of it, then it'll keep going on its path, and it'll changing on its own. So wheel can be a fun operator to play with. Now let's look at maybe swoop. Swoop is here. We'll bring it before our button. Put the button into the trigger input. Let's go ahead and upload this. Now, we have not talked about Nume and Dino for swoop and horn and saw yet, but we know that it's the bounce and bounds in this oscillator. So we're going to set the bounds to be very large. I like to think of the bounds as like the amount that is being traveled, or you can think of it as like 0 to 9 volts or something along those lines. It's the amount that's happening. And then the Nume would be like the speed and how fast it's really traveling. So we'll just put it right down at 2. So we're going to say it has a long way to go, and it's going to go very slowly. Upload this. Ah! Okay, so I have a really crappy USB cable, and I keep meaning to change it. I think that is my problem here. I've also been having some USB issues with my computer. So every once in a while, when something happens like this, my computer will just not like it, and Fish will freeze here. So I press cancel. No big deal. Unplug the Shnth. Hold the orange terror button on the front of it. Not the major and minor buttons like we've been talking about, the other button in between the bars, in between the second and third bar. Hold it down and plug the Shnth back in. There should be an orange light that comes on right underneath of that orange button. Now, upload your patch again. Unplug the Shnth and plug it back in. There you go. That is the orange light procedure. You should get used to doing that, especially if you like weird and noisy things on the Shnth, because you will have to do it a lot. So, like we said, a long way to travel and going slowly. Press the major D button. Okay. Let's bring this right up to about 60. So it's going to go faster. And bring this down to 60. So it's still fast, and it has less of a way to travel. So it's probably going to go even faster now. And it's also doing less because it's a smaller modulation, right? You are effectively changing the amount of modulation that is happening. So put that back up to 120. We'll put this down at 4. Upload that. And that is going to be our little talk about the buttons on this Shnth, I think. I don't want to go on for too much longer. I'm just going to start playing with this. Unplug. Like I said, I think I'm going to do something on generative and self-playing patching fairly soon here, and then maybe just like a live patching, some kind of more complex patch, and recording it